I want to do an experiment, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, of having blind obedience to my spirit. So much of our lives are conditioned, we are conditioned to live out of the head. And we're to analyze things and think about things and plan and do this and set goals, make lists, and follow this preset cookie cutter pattern that has been set up for us. You go to high school, you get good grades, then you get into a good college, you get good grades there, and you find a major where you can make decent amount of money, where there's job security. Doesn't matter if it's something you don't like, that's okay. That doesn't matter. But the most important thing is you want to get a job in something, a major, and study something that has a future. This is all the conditioning that we're told. And then you combine that with the media, and you combine that with parents, and most people live their life fear-based. So what they do when they give you advice is they give you fear-based advice. And fear is a great motivator of people. I mean, look at 9/11 and all the things that fear enabled our government to do. So when you get people in a fear state, they're more apt to follow their plan. So, all right, first we have the high school, then we go to college, and then get a good job with good retirement, good benefits, and then get a wife, have a couple of kids, get a mortgage, get a car, and all these things. So we're living out other people's programming upon us. And I wanted to take a step back, so I quit my job and think about what life would be like if I lived my life totally guided by my spirit. And I believe there are no accidents. I was in this bathroom, and in the bathroom on the wall was this graffiti that said, "I want to live life following the inclinations of my heart." And I thought, man, what a profound thought. And most people would take that and say, okay, that's a nice thought, yeah, but how practical is that? I really wanted to put it into action. And I think part of my struggle in my life is knowing truth and then having the courage to live truth. So that is a principle or a truth that I want to guide my life. And for a lot of time in my life, I didn't know what my spirit wanted. I was left vacillating because I was so intertwined or so intermixed by the system. Just doing like most people do, going to work, which would suck the life energy out of me, coming home, watching some TV, going out, doing this or that on the weekend, and the whole epicenter of my life revolved around work, revolved around materialism, material possessions, money, and all those things. So the spirit then takes a back seat and becomes quiet. And then we don't know what really is our purpose or passion in life. So I wanted to kind of put that in reverse. So I worked real hard, saved up money, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to now quit my job and still myself. Be more still, and kind of quench my desire. There's such a human impulse in us to achieve, succeed, become something. And I thought, what would it be like to be nothing? What would it be like to not strive for money, not strive for fame, not strive for success? All that external energy that goes out into the world in trying to accomplish and feed our ego and make us feel like we're someone important. What happens if we captured that, embraced it, harnessed it, and then we're able to use it for a higher purpose? Now, this might sound hokey, but living it is transformational. It's been I'm just now starting to experience what it's like to live freely. And I'm no way near where I want to be, but just, I've gotten a taste, got a morsel under my tongue, and just savoring it. And to wake up and say, you know what, I can meditate today, or I can read, or I can write, or I could go listen to music, or I could go sit in the park. And then what I found is that my spirit starts coming back to life. It starts rejuvenating. It starts healing itself. And the truth of my purpose in life starts bubbling to the surface. And it's this excitement in a different sense. The the excitement when we get a neat gift or get a raise or get some money is a brief excitement. It's like that's the excitement of a drug, taking a drug, and you feel a high and then it fades. This is kind of one that, like a snowball or an avalanche, keeps on building and building and building in power. And I am thinking, okay, I don't know why I have this desire to go do this or go talk to that person or go to this place or to quit my job or to get rid of all my possessions except the bare minimum. I don't know why I have these impulses. Yeah, the spiritual impulses are scary, but I'm going to obey them. And I just want to see what life is like living in blind obedience to the Spirit. And letting the Spirit be the compass for our life. And there's two completely night and day different distinctions. We are trained to live by the mind. Think, analyze. And most of the mind, yes, it has very practical uses, but most of us live in our minds, are consumed by our minds, are consumed by the chatter that goes on, the worries, the fears, and things like that. And it's a different type of energy, and you could feel the difference when you live in a place of stillness. And everybody, I'm sure, has had that experience of living in a place of just calmness, serenity, a peace that the next step you take is purposeful, is the right step, and just following that. So my plan now is in the process, and I posted a video on possessions, and I've gotten rid of, applying the 2080 principle, I've gotten rid of pretty much the majority of my possessions. I just now have the essential ones, just the light and the load, and enable for me to be more free. Now, I'm still going through and seeing getting rid of possessions reveals one's attachments. I say, I'm still attached to that. Well, how do I solve that? Well, I could get rid of it. And then the next step where my Spirit is guiding me, it says, going to New Zealand. And my plan, or the where I feel I'm being led, is to walk from north to south across New Zealand, or down the spine of New Zealand. And just, I have my tent ready, I have my sleeping bag, I've got most of the supplies, and probably in October is when I'll most likely leave. And then we'll see what happens then. And I don't have, people ask, well, when are you leaving, or how long are you staying, and what are you going to do there? I don't know. And that's kind of the scary thing and the exciting thing about having blind obedience to your Spirit is it makes life purposeful, it makes life meaningful, and you really get the depth, the nugget of life instead of the superficial layer that most of us are accustomed to living, the material world and possessions and work and bills and responsibilities, all these things that we just do to kind of like dog paddle to keep afloat inside the system and the infrastructure. So I want to extract myself as best I can and then see where the current takes me. And I plan to document and post videos on each step of the way. And it would be nice to have a community of people that supported each other in taking that risk, jumping off the edge of the cliff, not knowing what's on the other side or what's down at the bottom. It really makes a difference having a network of people to support and encourage and inspire. So if you're one of those people that is sick of the today looking like yesterday and tomorrow looking like today, in the same routine day after day, and just in survival mode, life is just such a brief vapor. And I don't want to have to look back in my rocking chair when I'm gray and old and I'm on my deathbed and looking back and saying, you know what, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have done this. I think it's time to grab life by the balls and take risks and live it to its fullest and share those experiences with other people and encourage each other. Thanks for listening. Bye.